Okay, hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm going to do a video about sort of figuring out how to sort out this plant. So let me show you. This plant, she is absolutely gorgeous. I think she is absolutely beautiful, but Mum's been looking after her and she's been in really low light. So I'm going to try and figure out a way of pruning her up and making her look pretty again. So I thought I would do that with you guys and see what I end up with. I'm kind of winging it, but it's well overdue needing to be done, so let's get started. As you can see, I've got my potting box here. I did a bit of resorting earlier because I have a pothos that I was changing how I was keeping it. So let's sort of get this out of the pot. So this plant is quite fragile, bits do fall off, and you can tell there's water in the bottom of that. Yeah, you can kind of see it, it's a bit overexposed, but Mum just drowns this thing, so it kind of needs a bit of a TLC, but you can see, if you can see that there's sort of, it's just a real mess, and it's really leggy here. You can see how leggy it is. So when I say leggy, I mean it's got no sort of leaves coming off this stem here. And you can see it's just cut off because it's so unhealthy at the moment. It's because it's got not enough light at all where it is. So it needs to be in more direct sunlight or bright light basically. So another casualty there. So we'll just lie these down in the box. I'm going to try and get these out. They're just falling out of the pot at this point, so we're just gonna get these out. There we go. Right, I think a lot of the roots had basically already rotted off, but we've got a few. It's really tangled. This I'm most certainly gonna chop off about here, stick about that much into the soil, and hopefully that'll root up, because I like the trailing effect that it has. I think that makes it beautiful, but obviously we just need this plant to be healthy again. Again, with this piece, that's all it's got is that tiny little bit at the end, so I'll just chop that off and propagate that. The same with this, the end here is basically, there you go, it's just snapped off, it's just dying. So up until that point is basically dying. So this guy I think I'm gonna chop the head off here. Yeah, you can just see it's just chopping off. Let me just get my secateurs. Got them. I've got some nice sharp ones as well, and I'm just gonna grab my alcohol. So I tend to spray my secateurs with alcohol before I use them to make sure I'm not spreading any infection. Just let them air dry. And I'm going to get some fresh soil, so I keep that under my desk. Oh, that alcohol, I just breathed in all of the vapour. As you can see, I've just got my tub full of soil here, and I've got, I think, about 13cm pot there, so I'm just going to fill that up with soil. Okay, so yesterday, guys, I'm really sorry, but my camera ran out of battery, so I have changed because it's the next day, but it's actually worked out quite well because it's given me a chance to let the stems that I cut to callus over. So I did go ahead and cut them after the camera cut out just so that we could save time, but I will show you how I cut them now. So again, I did take those secateurs that I sterilised and I basically cut them so that it was, if there's any roots like this one has, I cut them just below the root so that we haven't got any rot that can happen, and any bits that were like this, little heads at the end, I cut off so that we can bulk it out. And what you'll see as well is that I have got a few bits on the end, like a little leg there at the end. What I've done is I've taken a few of the leaves off, but I've kept them aside just so that we can put it into the ground, and then what we can do is we can take these and put them on the soil to propagate them, and hopefully it will bulk out as well. I've also kept a few long. We'll have a look to see how these guys get on. This one doesn't look great after it's had a night of drying. There we go, that's just snapped again. So that one's snapped off, we'll put that aside. And what I'm going to do now with you guys is I'm just going to twist these off. A few are falling off by themselves just because this plant is basically in bad shape right now. Last one. This one is also hanging by a thread, so I'm just going to pull that one off to help it out. So I'm just going to bury that stem on the ground. So yeah, we're going to start putting these guys into the soil. What I have got, which I've never actually used before, is some rooting powder. Let's see if that focuses. There you go, we've got some rooting powder. So what I'm going to do is, as it says on the instructions, I'm going to dunk. I'm just going to open it. I'm just going to grab this, we're just going to try it out and see how this goes. I'm just going to dunk this in some water. Shake off any drops. There we go. And dunk about 1 to 2 centimetres into the powder. And it's essentially just like rooting help. And then what I've got here is I've got a paintbrush, and I'm just going to poke that into the soil to make a little area for them to go into. And there's one piece in, and we're just going to keep going. So let's grab another piece. Dunk it into water, dunk it into the hormone or rooting powder, growth supplement, whatever you want to call it. And I'm actually going to put this one a bit further back. I'm actually going to chop this one off a little bit more, because I think we could bush it out a little bit. So I'm just taking the head off. I'm just going to take 2 leaves off. Actually, I'm going to take 3, so that we're just left with a little head, and I'll show you what I do with them later. I'll just keep going. So this one's got a root, so I'm not going to put any hormone on this one, but I'm going to have to make a bit of a bigger hole, and I'm going to do the same for this as well. I'm going to chop the head off. And again, these heads, actually I will make sure they've got a bit more rooting powder on them because they haven't calloused over, but hopefully by the time I get to them they would have calloused over a bit more. That's looking nice there. I might actually help it go down a bit more. There we go. Looking good. So this is actually a really long piece. So into the water. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to carry on doing this, and then we'll cut back to when I'm doing the heads. So now I have just got a few of the stems in now, and I've just got little tiny heads. So basically in this little bold bit here, I'm just going to fill it out so that we've got these little succulents. So we've got a little stem at the end there, and exactly the same, just on a smaller version. We're just going to do that. And if any of you guys see me doing anything that you think is I could do better, please comment that below. I am always open to learning new things when it comes to plants. We're all learning here. Okay, and then, so these guys, these are beautiful. Let me see if I can get the camera to fix on that. Can you see? That's beautiful. So again, I'm just going to be a little bit more gentle because this is a gorgeous little cutting into the powder. Just shake the excess off so I don't suffocate it. And let's decide, I think that can go in the middle there. Nice, and there. Do the same to this one. I reckon this one's got a few baby roots on it. I'm not sure if that's coming up or not. Maybe. So I think I'm gonna try and bury this little bit in here. It's gonna need a bit more room. So I just fit the whole U shape into the soil and basically bury that then. There we go. Actually, I'm just going to completely redo this. It's got some roots on there, but I'm going to risk it. And I'm going to redo that. I've got to make this plant pretty. And hopefully a nice full plant by the end of it. A bit more room there now. Ooh, where else? What else? Here we go. Another babas. We've only got a few. Ooh, this one's got some cute little leaves growing. This is looking fuller. Who knows? We might have a completely different looking plant when this ends up growing up. What I love about these plants though, like all these succulents, they literally will grow from nothing. You just have to chop it, chuck it in there and see what comes out. This one, ooh no, we have a casualty. So this one did not want to stay in there. Let me see if I can chuck it in there. Again, the soil, I have used dry soil, so that probably isn't helping with keeping them put. Once I water it though, it'll hopefully be fine. Last few bits. I'm running out of space if I'm being honest with you. Let's see, what else have I got? That is basically it. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to grab a few of these leaves that fell off whilst I was doing all of that, and I'm just going to place them on the soil, which the very little soil that is actually free, and then the rest I'm just going to pop on a pot of soil that I have over there with a few other succulent cuttings that I am propagating. So yeah, that is the finished product, and as you can see, if it wants to focus, there you go, we've got a nice full plant, and hopefully that'll root up and we will have another healthy, beautiful succulent. Okay guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe video if you want to see some more plant videos. Bye!